That night, Jack couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned in his bed, replaying the day's events in his mind. The eerie encounter at his tailor shop near the cemetery kept haunting him. Maybe it was just a coincidence, but his gut told him otherwise. There was something off about him. As the first rays of sunlight crept through his window, Jack dragged himself out of bed. He hadn't slept a wink, but he had to open the shop. The moment he stepped inside, something felt amiss. His eyes darted around the room, searching for what was out of place. Then it hit him: one of the suits he had finished tailoring yesterday was missing from the rack. Jack's heart raced as he frantically searched every nook and cranny of his small shop. The suit was nowhere to be found. With shaking hands, he dialed his assistants, Tom and Mike. "Hey guys, did either of you move the black suit I finished last night?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Not me, boss," Tom replied. "I didn't touch anything after we closed up." "Same here," Mike chimed in. "Is something wrong?" Jack felt a chill run down his spine. He couldn't shake the feeling that something supernatural was at play. No, everything's fine," he lied, not wanting to worry his employees. Must have misplaced it somewhere. As the day wore on, Jack found himself jumping at every little sound. The bell above the door, the rustle of fabric, even the ticking of the old clock on the wall, everything seemed to put him on edge. He couldn't stop thinking about the missing suit and the strange customer from the day before. Just before closing time, as Jack was tidying up the shop, he caught a glimpse of something in the full-length mirror near the entrance. For a split second, he could have sworn he saw one of the mannequins move. He blinked hard and rubbed his eyes, convinced he was seeing things. But then, he heard a faint whisper that made his blood run cold. "Jack, we miss your craftsmanship. You're still our favorite tailor." Without thinking, Jack bolted out of the shop, nearly tripping over his own feet. He stood on the corner, gasping for air, trying to make sense of what had just happened. It wasn't his imagination playing tricks on him. This was real. Something or someone from beyond the grave had come for him. That night, sleep was once again elusive for Jack. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind outside his window made him flinch. His heart pounded so hard he thought it might burst out of his chest. Sitting in the darkness of his bedroom, he muttered to himself, "Why me? I just want to make clothes for the living. Is that too much to ask?" As dawn broke, Jack realized he couldn't avoid the shop forever. With heavy steps and a racing mind, he made his way back to work. The moment he unlocked the door, he felt a presence that wasn't there before. The air seemed thicker, colder somehow. Jack's eyes darted around the room, half expecting to see a ghostly figure standing among the racks of clothes. But everything looked normal, almost too normal. He cautiously made his way to his workstation, trying to shake off the feeling of being watched. Just as he picked up his scissors, he heard it again, that same whisper from the day before. "Jack, we need you. Your talent is wasted on the living." He spun around, searching for the source of the voice. "Who's there?" he called out, his voice trembling. "What do you want from me?" Silence. Then, slowly, one of the mannequins in the corner began to turn its head. Jackie's eyes widened in horror as he watched it step off its platform and walk towards him with jerky, unnatural movements. "We want you to join us, Jack," the mannequin spoke, its voice a chorus of whispers. "To create masterpieces for eternity." Jack backed away, his heart pounding in his ears. "No, this can't be happening. I'm dreaming. I have to be dreaming." But he knew deep down that this was no dream. The spirits of his past customers, those he had clothed in their final moments, had come to claim him as their own. As the days passed, more strange occurrences plagued Jack's shop. Suits would mysteriously appear, perfectly tailored but with no record of ever being ordered. Customers would come in, describing loved ones long deceased, asking for exact replicas of outfits Jack had made years ago. Word spread quickly in the small town. Some called Jack blessed, able to communicate with the dead through his craft. Others whispered that he had made a deal with the devil, trading his soul for supernatural tailoring abilities. Jack found himself torn between two worlds. The living still sought his skills, praising his work as the best they'd ever seen. But the dead, they offered him something more, a chance to create without limits, to push the boundaries of his art in ways he had never imagined. One night, as Jack sat alone in his shop long after closing time, he made his decision. He picked up his favorite pair of scissors, the ones that had been passed down through generations of tailors in his family. With a deep breath, he began to cut into a shimmering fabric that seemed to appear out of thin air. As he worked, the whispers grew louder, more excited. Ghostly hands guided his own, showing him techniques lost to time. Jack lost himself in the creation, his mind expanding with each stitch. When he finally looked up from his work, Jack realized that the shop around him had changed. The walls seemed to stretch into infinity, filled with every type of fabric imaginable. Mannequins of all shapes and sizes moved about, each wearing a unique creation that defied the laws of physics and fashion alike. Jack smiled, realizing that he had found his true calling. He was no longer just a tailor for the living, but a master craftsman for all of eternity. As he picked up his scissors once more, ready to begin his next masterpiece, Jack knew that his greatest works were yet to come. The next morning, the townspeople were shocked to find Jack's shop empty, with no sign of where he had gone. Some said they saw strange lights coming from the windows the night before, while others swore they heard the sound of scissors cutting through fabric long into the early hours. All that remained was a note pinned to the door, written in Jack's neat handwriting: "To all my valued customers, living and beyond, I have been called to a higher purpose. My work will continue, though you may not see it with mortal eyes. Remember, a well-tailored suit is the first step towards immortality. Eternally yours, Jack." And so, the legend of Jack, the tailor who sewed for both the living and the dead, became a part of the town's folklore. Some say that on quiet nights, if you listen closely near the old shop, you can still hear the whisper of scissors and the rustle of otherworldly fabric, as Jack continues his work in the great beyond.